Part three of being just a fantastic beta reader. You went into this process with clear expectations of what the author was looking for with you. You finished reading the book with stacks of notes full of insightful, actionable comments that will help the author take their book to the next level. Well done. Pat yourself on the back. But now comes what is unquestionably the hardest part: providing that feedback to the author. Look, I've already talked about the fact that simply telling them it's the best book ever isn't really going to be of any value to them. They need this kind of feedback. Otherwise, they wouldn't have engaged a beta reader or three in the first place. But here's the kicker. I'm an author. I've sent my books to beta readers. And even though I am sitting here right now telling you with every square inch of my chest that I want actionable, honest feedback from my beta readers, there's always a part of me thinking, but what if? What if this is the one I nailed? What if they poured through it, desperately trying to think of anything that needed improvement, but there just isn't anything? And I promise you, I'm not alone in that stupid fantasy. It's hard to sit down with someone who's worked so hard and so long on a dream and point out all the different ways they stumble. And that, more than anything else, is what makes these first two steps so important. If you've had that conversation about what expectations they have from you, it really will lessen that sting. And if you come with notes, it really does show that you didn't just skim through and scribble down a few thoughts. You actually approached this process with a sense of responsibility, respecting the time and effort and energy they put into writing this book, and wanting to honor your role in helping get this book to the place the author wants it to be. In this moment, the two of you are working together. And you can really make these discussions rewarding if you come at it from that perspective of, I understand what you were trying to do with this scene, so let's talk about some ways you can achieve that goal. And I mean, that is what the best editors and beta readers do. They consider what the author is trying to achieve, and they work to help them reach that point. That should be the goal in your head before you even sit down to the book. And if you approach it from that point, you'll be very well equipped to have this discussion. It is true. There is always going to be a moment of disappointment when a beta reader tells me, I really enjoyed it, but I promise you, my books would be nowhere near as lean, as polished, or just plain as good as they are if I didn't have people willing to dig into my early drafts and help me find my way out of the quagmire I wrote myself into. Those discussions have made my books better stories, and they have, without failure, made me a better author. See, as authors, we spend months, if not years, with our nose pressed tight against the window of this world we built, thinking of little else. And it can be nearly impossible to take a step back and look at it with fresh eyes. And that's your role as a beta reader, to be those fresh eyes and to help make sure that the rest of the world can see this story in exactly the way the author hopes. I hope this series was helpful. And if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer.